Power 7 Podcast. Good morning. It's your boy, the Almighty Nicodemus, back in the building once again. And you all in tune to the Power 7 Podcast on another blessed morning. Blessed to be alive, blessed to be out here moving, grooving, shaking, and baking. And if you got 2 arms, 2 legs, and 1 head, you are well as blessed. Whether you like getting out here doing what you do or not, you're blessed to be able to do it and make it happen for you and yours. Once again, Power 7 Podcast. Let's get into it. So today, we are talking about battles, right? Because a couple weeks ago, Kendrick Lamar, also known as Kung Fu Kenny, dropped a little verse on everybody on the Metro Boomin and Future album. And in my opinion, the verse wasn't all that, you know what I'm saying? It was mid, as they like to say nowadays. You know, it wasn't whack, but it didn't hit me like, ooh, like everybody responded. I share the same opinion about that Control verse when he did that. I didn't think it was as scathing as they tried to make it seem. But I'm starting to notice that Kendrick Lamar fans are turning into Eminem and Tupac fans. It's just starting to get out of hand. But that's where we at with him. But it was a diss. Jabs at J. Cole, jabs at Drake. Like I said, they were little light jabs, but the Kendrick Lamar enthusiasts will have a breakdown of what he meant if you didn't like it. For some reason, I don't know. Like I said, his fan base is starting to get kind of Tupac-ish fan base, Eminem fan base, where they're just a little, I don't know, feel the need that you're supposed to like or you're supposed to ride with that shit. If you don't like it, they have to break it down like it's high school. And it don't need to be that complicated. I've seen some people do rundowns on where they're like, yeah, if you go back and listen to it, then you start. I'm like, listen, man, this ain't rocket science. I heard the slugs. They were alright. Wasn't really that deadly for what I like, for what my taste is. And it's okay if you like it, or and it's okay if I did. It's alright. But on to that, what I came to do today, outside of that, is basically, I'm going to give you my top 5 disses. My personal top 5 disses that I've always cared for, that I've always liked, that I thought was hard as hell, you know, and this is my opinion. You know, if you got 5 others that you think are more worthy than what I got, that's fine. Lace me in the comments. Let me know what's your 5, you know, top 5 hip-hop disses of all time. Because there are a lot of them. So I'm not saying these are it, but these are mine. These are the ones I like the most. So let's start. Number 1, and these are in order. Number 1 is going to be, of course, No Vaseline from Ice Cube. One of my favorites. One of my favorite MCs. One of my favorite disses. This pretty much led to the breakup, the whole breakup of NWA when he dropped No Vaseline. Ice Cube leaves NWA, does his solo thing. NWA sends slugs, he sends a little jab back. Then after they do the 100 Miles on Running album, or you know, the Niggas for Life album, and they pretty much stand clear, direct shots to him, not just little things throughout the album. He drops No Vaseline. Listen, man, it's a no-brainer. That's the shit. Number two for me, gotta be Ether. I know a lot of people talk about Ether and they're like, well, Ether, you know, Nas didn't drop any facts, Jay didn't take over, and it was all facts. But I'll ask all you people this. This is what I have to say about Ether. You can go on YouTube and you can hear Jay's reaction to Ether. It's still on there on the Andy Martinez show. That his reaction to it is still on there. And there's a song where State Property disses Nas. Actually, they're not dissing Nas, I'm sorry. They diss Jazzo, right? Because they think that Jazzo, hey, information for him to create Ether. Now, there must have been some truth in what Nas said if Jay-Z felt that way. You know, there's a Drink Champs interview you can check out with Jazzo where he discusses it and how they actually, confronted him about it as well. Like, yo, you gave him some knowledge, some information, this and that. So it must have been some things that was true. So that's for all the folks who say Ether was just cracking jokes and it wasn't anything serious. There weren't no real truth in it. It was just him cracking jokes with, which, in my opinion, was always a whack-ass argument because the point of a battle is to make your opponent uncomfortable, is to set them, not set them good, make them point out their insecurities, make the crowd laugh at them. That's the whole point of the whole battle, is to embarrass the opponent. So I don't understand why people have that argument against Ether. Number three for me, once again, I gotta give it to Legend in Leather, LL Cool J, to the Break of Dawn, where he takes out not only Kumo D, Ice-T, and MC Hammer. Those are all three of them. The murders. I know the Kumo D battle had been going on for some time, but Break of Dawn just pretty much ended it. Also with Jack the Ripper, but I'm going to Break of Dawn. The Ice-T one I've never been clear on. The whole Hammer one has to do with when MC Hammer comes out. He sends out his disses to Run, and he does send those shots at L. So that's why Hammer got the heat. L takes out 3 people to the Break of Dawn is my number 3. Number 4, Bridge is Over. Bridge is Over by BDP. Listen, man. You not only end someone's career from 2 disses, and your respond disc is the one that takes them out. His first KRS One was his initial disc, right? South Bronx. Shan responds, we kill that noise. KRS goes back and responds with the bridge is over, and it's over. The whole shit was over. The whole thing was over. It was such a bad diss that Shan 20 years later was talking about that shit. You catch a Shan interview now, he's still talking about that shit. You'll be like, yeah, we cool now, but he still talks about that like everybody else. But when the person that you dissed is still, shooken up from the song, you already know that battle was hard. Now, my number five it's got to be Pusha T, Diss and Drake, the story of Adidon. A lot of people like to call this diss. Oh, it's just gossip. The thing is about this diss, you can call it a whole bunch of gossip if you like, but the fact remains that on this diss record, best way for Pusha T to take out Drake was that way. Like, because Drake is such a big artist, such a popular artist, you can't just come to him with the typical rhymes talking about ghost riding and ghost riders and, all your fans are female. Like, he's too global. He's too big to come out with the regular stuff. So what do you do to point out his insecurities or to embarrass him? You gotta hit him where it hurts, to the point that he must have cried or something on his way home in the car when he heard it, or he cried at home listening to it or something, to the point that Jay Prince had to get involved in a battle rap. Like, man, chill this out. Let these MCs have it. You gotta come rescue this guy, and we gonna have to chill all of this out. Yo, crazy. And that's a hard diss, to where you gotta get some street people to be like, calm that down. You gotta chill on that. You gotta chill on that. So, story of Adidon. So those are my top 5s. My top 5 disses. My bonus dishes, the ones I also like as well, I gotta give it to Tupac with Bomb First and Against All Odds. In my opinion, both of those are better than Hit 'Em Up. Pac goes in, not only is the beats better, but he goes into the reason why a lot of stuff, gives you some insight. He's dissing a whole bunch of people, especially on Bomb First. So I gotta give that an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is gonna be Evidence. Finding Bobby Fischer, where he disses Eminem, and it's a pretty good diss if you've never heard it. He kills Eminem. He really does. He takes Eminem out to the point that Proof has to call Evidence to be like, hey man, we gotta stop this. Because it's a pretty good diss. This is real, it's strong. This is a real strong diss. Another one is gonna be Big Mama by Roxanne Shante. You don't hear about this diss a lot because Roxanne Shante didn't write it. Granddaddy IU wrote it. At the time when it came out, it was early 90s. A lot of people were upset about it. She dissed Latifah, Moni Love, MC Light, a couple others. But it's scathing. It's a hard diss. I think if she would have been the one who wrote it, or maybe nobody ever knew that Granddaddy IU wrote it, we might hear more about it being in the top disses. But because she's not behind the pen of that diss, you don't hear about it a lot. But it was a little controversial behind it. People got mad. He wrote some wild shit. She said it. And last but not least, a diss that they always deny that it's a diss, but I don't care what nobody say. There's too many coincidences in this particular diss, which is Long Kiss Goodnight, My Bed. And it's a pretty hard diss record. I know a lot of people heard it. Most people say, nah, that's not about Pac. I beg to differ, because everything, all the slugs he's throwing and stuff that he's saying, it sounds like it's about Tupac. But who knows? Biggie's gone, and we'll never know the truth. But once again, it's your boy, the Almighty Nicodemus, Power 7 Podcast. Peace.